Hello, I am Oktay, and today I will be talking about the book Visitation. No, not this one. This is also good, but this one. And how it compares to German culture. I chose German as my culture because that's where I want to continue my education. And the reshaping of culture after tragedies have always fascinated me. German writings feel bizarre, but also strikingly real, with field symbolism and irony. German people, on the other hand, are disciplined people who typically respect the structure and laws of society more than an average person. That's why I was surprised to see the inventiveness of the novel Visitation. Why I chose Visitation is because of its back cover, which has a review from the Times saying the haunting novel beautifully dramatizes how ordinary lives are affected by history, which is exactly what I was looking for. In Visitation, the only constant is the house, and thus the protagonist is the house. With every chapter of the book, the characters go and other characters come. Hence, the time moves very fast comparing the how short this book is. We start with the mayor who built the house in the late 1800s and ended in the 2000s. It feels like a collection of short stories, all of which are tied to a narrative surrounding the house and Germany. The first two key passages I have picked are about that. The description of the first death is brief and brutal. Arthur and Hermine are grandparents of Doris and are in their late 50s. They are Jews living in Germany in 1939. If you weren't living in a cave for all this time, then you can probably guess what will happen. But Erpenbeck's writing still surprises the reader by showing the viciousness of the situation. Arthur's eyes pop out of their sockets as he assificates, and Hermine in her death throws defecates on the feet of a woman she has never seen before. The second passage is about a different type of death. Compared to the brutal and short description of their grandparents' death, Doris's death is more abstract and more about being forgotten. All the things she has experienced and could have experienced are taken back from her. I like the word uninventedness because it is describing the lack of a human. The last thing which is taken from her is her name, which is the only thing someone has when they are born, like my name Oktay. What connects these to the German culture can be observed when third quote is taken into consideration. The third quote I chose is about home. Now a writer and her husband own the house. She repeatedly writes this phrase to her typewriter, I am going home, which is not what happens, but what she wants to happen. What she and her husband want is to bring Germany back home in their thoughts. What this means is that they think of what Germany as a home again. The reason why they are unable to do that is because of the past, because of how people died in the first two passages we have looked into. German rubble here is both literal and metaphorical. It is literal in the sense that after the war, most German cities were in shambles, but also metaphorical because the idea of Germany as a homeland was demolished. They still want to have that homeland, but as of now, that ground they are building on is illusory. And the search for that real ground is one of the cores of German identity as of today, and of also their culture. One of Rammstein's hit songs, Deutschland, it's all about this struggle. It is time for the best part of the book, or one of the best parts of any book for me. It is between the architect's wife, who was left behind, and the young virgin Russian general. It is a sex scene that has every characteristic of German writings, and then some. It is a ritual of despair, but also of power display. All that is happening, and the way it is written is bizarre. And the symbolism, how the Russian soldiers dirtied the house by urinating wherever they wanted, and now the woman is urinating over their general. And now that's not everything. Arpenbeck writes that the scene resembles a mother and her son, which gets this scene even more symbolic. The architect's wife can be interpreted as a Germany, the mother of her people. She's speaking softly, feels like a mother, but just a minute ago, she pissed over him, just like what Nazis did to the Germans of today who want to be proud of their heritage, but they are not. The scene ends with a reverse of the rape. She's saying yes, while the soldier is saying no. This is one of my favorite inventive things Erpenbeck does with her book. She changed what we have seen hundreds of times in the most German way possible. Germans coming to terms with their past and accepting their Heimat and calling it home again was one of the most interesting parts of the book for me. And I would like to explore that aspect of the culture further. Also, I want to check into older works of German writers who lived before the world wars, like Goethe, to see how drastically these wars have affected how all German authors write. That's about it. And now the pop quiz. I will leave you with that.